Good afternoon, everyone. How's everybody doing? It's Dakota from Everyday Life. Today we are going to have a little bit of an not long show, but interesting show, and we're going to talk about some Diddy stuff. We're going to talk about some Jay Z. We're going to talk about Gene Deal and Ashton Kutcher and a former bad boy artist, Mark Curry. Okay. And I just want to say real fast that this is Everyday Life with Dakota, but I will be changing the name soon. And the name is going to be Dakota's Den. That's what the name is going to be. So for now, it's Everyday Life with Dakota, but we are going to change it to Dakota's Den. I just want to get you guys acclimated. So everybody's doing good. It just finished snowing here in Pennsylvania. I have about 5 or 6 inches of snow, and the roads are really terrible. So, I'm not going anywhere today. That's why I came here to talk to you. Okay, so the news is Diddy's situation was kind of laying low. Everything was focused on Jay-Z, but it's starting to get an uptick. And what's going to happen now is Diddy's co-conspirators will be exposed. Diddy's co-conspirators. We have all been waiting to see who was with Diddy in those freak-offs, whether they were coherent or not. We understand that. We're not holding anything against anybody, but inquiry minds want to know, right? Right? Well, they will be exposed March this year, 2025. January's it's not half gone. It's January 6th. So in about 2 months, we will know some co-conspirators. Judge Torres, the judge who is presiding over Jay-Z's case, his lawyer, as we all know, has filed for a dismissal of the case with Jay-Z and the 13-year-old girl with the grape charges. Well, now everybody knows that. And now when you file for a dismissal, the judge always assumes that the story is true. Okay, so you say, well, if the judge has to assume that the story is true, then how could she grant for a dismissal? I know it's kind of confusing, especially if you're not a lawyer. But the thing is, if there was some kind of legal issue, if there was some kind of legal issue that didn't have anything to do with the plaintiff, nothing to do with the 13-year-old girl, just a legal issue, something like statute of limitation, the dates and times might be off and wrong. That's when the judge can say, okay, I'll let you file for dismissal. But that doesn't mean the case is going away. Okay, now if the case gets a dismissal on some legal issue, if the judge says, well, the statute of limitation is gone, or it happened in New York instead of New Jersey, then what, right? The public's going to say, so there was a technical issue, so Jay-Z gets off, but what about the victim? Is he guilty? So what's going to happen? She just has to walk away? And it's weird, right? But, we have to wait to see what's going to happen in this case. And I know that I'm not a lawyer. You're not a lawyer. So I have a young lady here, right? Her name is Megan Eunice. And she's a legal correspondent. And she was on a show called Trent Out Loud. Shout out to Trent Out Loud. And what she did is she breaks it down for us laymen who feel like, wait a minute, if the judge assumes that Jay-Z is that the little girl is telling the truth, then how can he get off on a technicality? Well, let's let this lady who can explain it so much better than me, let's let her tell you what it's going to be about.
What I want to tell you guys now is the fact that a lot of people are saying that even though the judge granted Jay-Z and his lawyer approval to make a request, a lot of people think that she's just being nice and they're not going to win. Let me go to a video from Megan, who is our correspondent that sends me all of these things. She's a legal journalist. And I was speaking to her on Friday and I was like, look, I feel like we need to break this down a little bit more. So she made a video Take a listen to the 3 reasons why her and other lawyers don't think that they stand a chance of getting this case dismissed. Take a listen.
Jay-Z's lawyer is going to be filing a dismissal motion. And remember, judges have to assume that all facts in the complaint are true when they're deciding dismissal motions, because dismissal motions are about legal issues. So the arguments are not about the facts of the case or the alleged facts of the case. It's about the legal arguments under the facts as assumed.
Okay, let me pause it there for 1 second. I just want to get your guys' opinion before I tell you the other things. What do you guys think about him getting the case dismissed just off of legal issues? I wanted you to hear it from her. Like I said, she is a trial journalist. She knows way more legal stuff than I do. I just think that that's a bad idea. Like, why? Like, the fact that we have to assume that everything that they're accusing Jay-Z of is true, but it needs to get thrown out through legal purposes, for legal purposes, that's crazy to me. Anyways, let's go on to the 3 reasons why they don't think it will actually even hold up. Take a listen.
So one of Spiro's arguments for dismissal is that the claim cited by the woman's lawyer, Tony Busby, is under a law that was actually passed 3 months after the alleged occurred.
3 months. 3 months. You want us to forgive you because the law passed 3 months too late?
Weird.
That's horrible, Jay.
Yeah, weird.
So he's saying that the law is not retroactive in that respect, so it can't proceed under that. Another argument he's making is that the claim is brought under is a New York City statute, and that there's not evidence that this occurred in New York City.
What? Like, Tony Busby is saying, yeah, it happened in and around New York, and Jay-Z's lawyers are like, well, I don't think it happened in New York. I think it happened in Jersey. Throw it out. What are we talking about here?
He's also arguing that there's another law that actually preempts the law that the lawsuit is brought under, and the statute of limitations is expired on that. So he's got 3 main arguments that he's going to flesh out.
All right, now here is why they think that they don't stand a chance and they won't win. Take a listen.
Now, this was interesting analysis from a lawyer on Twitter who says that he thinks Busby probably wins. If Judge Torres does rule that the complaint should be dismissed under these arguments, she can give leave to amend, which would allow Tony Busby to come back with an amended complaint. She could order the case dismissed, but like I said, it could come back again in some other form.
Here, so that...
Okay, so you got it? Just because the case is, just because the judge allowed him to file for dismissal doesn't mean that it's over. To tell you the truth, it looks like it might be over for Jay-Z. I mean, this is an uphill battle. I hear that his family is stressed out. Beyonce is stressed out. You know, the kids are stressed out. Oh, Jay-Z, are you innocent? Are you guilty? No one knows. No one knows. It's going to be interesting. But all of these tactics about filing and its technical issues, New Jersey, New York, truly, truly trying to buy time. So that is Jay-Z's story. Okay. So now here to continue with Jay-Z as well as the diddler, we have a young man here. His name is Mark Curry, and he is a former bodyguard. He's a former bad boy artist. He's a former bad boy artist, Mark Curry, and he says that Jay-Z and Diddy, they could have done a lot more to help people, but they chose money. Well, they chose money over people, money over relationships. And when it comes to money, it should be people first, money second. It really should be. And this guy here, he sums it up. So let's hear what Mr. Curry has to say.
He ain't never picked a full say, Mark, man, I understand you're going through some things, you know, as part of the industry fellow, somebody who's been there with you all the time. What can we do to possibly make sure that you straight? You don't think they do? They don't do that. These niggas is crazy. They crazy. That's why they going through what they going through. Because you know why? You do not do God's children like that. Of course they are fake. Of course they are. Only way Diddy can come over this is give us more moguls, and honestly, it's no matter how that happened to Jay once Puff went in. I don't talk about them much, man, but I will tell you this. Don't think that Jay-Z and Puff are the biggest moguls ever. They're great people. But what you want to look at is the great people that weren't able to become because of them people. So we're going to leave them there. How many people could have been greater that weren't made because of their empowerment? Like, how many kids didn't eat because they wanted to have a Thanksgiving party or a Christmas or birthday party? Be like, damn, I hear your party and stuff, but how many kids is eating? Ain't nobody eating off our celebration. Why are we celebrating? What we celebrating if ain't nobody eating? Y'all ain't got it. Diddy had the power to help other people. It's a shift in, it's like a change in balance, a shift. It's not about, it's not about what he can do, it's about what needs to be done. And actually, some people are not in position to be the power decision makers at hand. That means like the game has moved on. You can't do nothing except for sit back and enjoy what was given to you because life moves on. Jay-Z.
All right. Seems kind of ominous, right? Sounds like he wasn't treated too fairly, as a lot of people were not treated fairly when it comes to Diddy and Jay-Z. So it seems, allegedly. Okay, so that was Mark Curry, a former bad boy artist. Okay. So finally, we have Uncle Gene. Everybody knows Gene Deal. Uncle Gene. Uncle Gene wrote a book. You know, he's been in the industry for a long time and he's seen a lot. My question with Uncle Gene is I suspect that he may have seen some things, you know, some abuse. Well, he talked about how he saw women with black eyes and whatnot. But the thing about Gene is, could he have done anything to stop some of this abuse? I know he was probably scared. I mean, he doesn't come off as a man that's scared. You know, comes off as a guy, you know, that's like a alpha male, so no one's going to mess with me. But couldn't he have had done something to help Cassie? Or I even heard him in an interview say that he saw Diddy slap his own mother, and he said to Diddy, "quote This is him. I'm telling you what I heard Gene Deal say, but I'll still say alleged." And Gene Deal said, he said to Diddy, if you smack your mom one more time, I will something like knock you out, take you out, or whatever. I don't know. But couldn't he have done more? Couldn't he have like gathered or rallied the other guards to try to help some of these people? I don't know. I wasn't there. Hollywood seems like a weird, wild place. So I don't know. Maybe there's nothing he could have done, but I don't know. I always wonder that. So at any rate, Uncle Gene has a book out and he talks a lot about the industry. And of course, he says, and we all know it's a wild, wild place. It's like the wild, wild west. And he's definitely an insider. So after, you know, looking at his whole interview, I did I couldn't decide what part of the book that I wanted to talk about. So I thought I would talk about somebody who I have been wondering about. I heard he left the country. I'm not sure. But Ashton Kutcher. You know, Ashton Kutcher always had a face that looked like he was up to something, right? He's like a funny guy face, like Jerry Seinfeld, always up to something. But according to Uncle Gene, Kushner was not innocent. Okay, so he talks about Demi Moore and what he did to Demi Moore and blah, blah, blah. So let me stop talking and let you hear what Gene Deal has to say about the Diddy and the industry. Okay.
Kushner and Diddy before. And they were speaking about Brittany Murphy. And I don't think I ever told this story, and I'm about to tell this story here. While he was married to Demi Moore, he was still sneaking around seeing Brittany Murphy. You understand? We were going to a Nets game, so we picked him up, and he was explaining to Diddy that every time he goes to Brittany's house, paparazzi always catches him or almost catch him coming out her apartment or coming out the building. And Diddy was telling him that's either the doorman or your security. You know what I'm saying? And he was still married to Demi Moore at the time. So you could have something, you could be right. Because it's crazy how they said her and Kim and some other individual with them or around them all died of pneumonia, and they were in perfect health.
That just gave me the shivers, that, because how can these two people be around the same people but die of the same death? Is it a case of the stories that are going to expose them off, they become a threat, so they kill them off? Because bad stuff happens to people, it happens to good people, but there's always death around these people. There's always murder. Like I say with that girl, he arranged a first date, he showed up late and she was stabbed 47 times. Yes, someone was charged with it, but the Abercrombie and Fitch guy, Mr. Jeffries, charged with trafficking, setting up sex parties. Like, it's demonic. It's dark. How? I know people go down that conspiracy route of satanic and people drinking blood, but do you believe there is rituals with these people at these parties where there's people being sacrificed?
You can only go by what you read, what you hear, and if you see somebody have all red rooms,
You know, I wonder if Gene Deal was ever at a freak off party. I wonder.
first thing you're going to say is, why? If I walk in this hotel room and everything around this room, the furniture, the walls, the ceiling, everything is red, I'm going to be backing up out of here with my gun, with my hand on my gun. That shit is going to scare the shit out of me. Wouldn't it you?
Fucking right, it would. He talking about it scares the shit out of me.
You know what I'm saying? You're going to walk in rooms. So when you see that he had rooms that were all red with loudspeakers for the music and 1,000 bottles of baby oil, you gonna say, something ain't right. Some just ain't sitting right here. So for people who have been involved in and seen that, they should have known something was wrong, something was different. And they should have known that something is about to go down that I've probably never been involved in and went down before in my life. Just by the atmosphere.
Yeah.
It don't look like a regular room. When I seen that on television and the guy was showing that he had like 2 big rooms of red, everything is red, and then he started wearing nothing but red. I actually thought he was possessed, man.
He was.
And he's been possessed for a long time. Even at the trial from Shine. I don't know if I told you this story before. We were on our way to Shine's and Anthony Wolf Jones sentencing. You know, they was finna get, the judge was finna either sentence them or let them go. Before we went to the courts, me and Puff went to the park, Central Park. And we was walking into the middle of Central Park. And I was like, where we going? And we just walking. And we end up walking close to this is from 5th Avenue to the boathouse. And I was like, yo, that's about a mile or 2 or something like that, or close to it. But we in the park. Early in the morning, we're supposed to be in court. Or on our way to court. He said, yo, Gene, stop right here. You stay right here. So he kept walking. And so I'm just looking at him, and I noticed a man in the middle of the park in the clearing by himself. And he had a box on the ground. So the man was turned with his back to me. And when he turned around, I could see that he was a priest. He had the white collar and the black suit and stuff like that. So then Puff came close, and he just got on his knees. You know, Puff got on his knees, and the dude had lit something and started, like, I guess it was what they call it, some kind of incense or whatever they have, start going back and forth with him like that. And then around Puff and everything like that. Put his hand on Puff, and he just started, I couldn't hear anything, but I knew the gestures was as he was praying or something. So when it was all over, he put the box in front of Puff. And Puff went in there, and as he started pulling something out the box, he stood up and grabbed it and threw it in the air. I could tell it was a
Semen? Box of semen?
wow.
He's always on his knees to
Come
count.
on.
But I thought it was a towel or something, like it was a bird. And the bird just fell to the ground. Boom. Like it was semen. Not semen. I know you say semen.
Hey, look, you got to laugh.
Cement?
But it was a bird. And Puff just looked at the priest and walked away from him. So as he coming towards me, I was saying this in my mind, because I could be hilarious and funny with this cat all the time. We used to always joke and snap on each other, talk about each other. So as he was coming, and I seen the bird just hit the ground like it was dead or something like that. As he was coming, I was going to start. I was saying this to myself.
Okay, so that was Gene Deal talking a little bit about Ashton Kutcher and also about Diddy being, possessed. What do you guys think about Diddy? In a case like that, either you might have some kind of mental problem from the beginning, which no one ever said he did, but maybe. I don't think anybody can teach you how to be mental. I just don't. The Dougs, that might have a huge part in his behaviors because they kind of mess up your brain. Especially, I heard he's been doing that drug, the Doug called Trank for 20 years. So I don't know. When you think about Diddy, it's just you think about where he is and how he's living now and what he's going through. And no matter what, it's just hard to feel sorry for him. Not that anybody should. Most people don't give a damn, as they shouldn't. But what happened to him? Or is it just the whole industry? I'm talking about what happened to Diddy. Maybe it's the whole industry, and those of us who don't have money will not ever understand. Sometimes you just got to let things go and let them be the way they are, right? So, everybody, that is my stories for today. Everyday life with Dakota, but I'm going to be called now Dakota's Den. So, please, everybody, if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it because I am a new channel and I am trying to grow. And I enjoy YouTube so much. I have 450 subscribers. I started this channel seriously about maybe 2.5 months ago. So I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so I can go live and do a lot of other things. So everybody, enjoy yourself. If you're out here with the snow with me, be careful driving. If not, be careful anyway. And I am pretty sure that I will talk to you guys later. Have a great night. Bye.